Hi, this is Marina from Darkstar Astrology, bringing you the new moon on October the 8th, and it falls at 15 degrees Decan, Libra Decan 2. So this is going to be quite a witchy one, really, and that's not really surprising because we are coming up to Halloween as well with this one. October really is the month of the fall and Persephone's falling into the underworld. So how apt then that we have the aspect of the new moon is going to be, it's conjunct Ceres, and it's also going to be square Pluto, if that wasn't enough. So, and also, if that wasn't enough either, it falls in the constellation of Corvus the Crow on fixed star Kratz. So now when I looked into the research for this one, I found that it really does either create mad geniuses or bring out the vilest attributes of the crow. The moon in Libra Decan 2, more than the sun or any other planets. It's just the moon. It's something about the spookiness of it. Anyway, so the moon here, according to Robson, says the birth native will be active, resourceful, shameless, merciless, a thief, and a drunkard. I have seen this. Anyway, so by dignity as well, the moon is not happy in Libra Decan 2. It's really unsure of itself. It's probably because it's just too concerned about what others think of them. And those touched by this new moon will strive to succeed so that they can win the approval of an audience. So it's all for the audience. So, you know what? It does bring out that theme again, the classic narcissist that forever craves adoration. So on the positive side, though, we can use this energy to generate a following that does good works for the collective. But also just be careful, because at this time we could crave to be loved and approved of so much that we may not be discerning enough when it comes to who we give our body. Now, interestingly enough, Austin Kopok stated that this moon position is want to create a lasting and secure union, but we will also need to be careful about those that we invest ourselves in and under what terms, because they are prone to be taken advantage of. So there you go. Don't be prey for the creepy crow. The more innocent amongst us then will need to be on our guard against empathizing with the bad boy or the bad girl around this time. Starry-eyed and romantic, we could so easily slip blindly into the underworld. So, as I said, the main aspect for this moon is moon conjunct Ceres, and it's square Pluto. So for moon square Pluto, it's probably one of the most intense and hungry moons that you can have. It's a raging Kali archetype, and it can be the product of a obsessive possessive mother, or it can be someone who's obsessed with being a mother as well. And of course, in my research as well, in some cases I found that the mother as the destroyer can really be literal. And we found Rose West and Fred West. They were a couple who were serial killers in the 1980s in England, and they kidnapped children. I think they even killed their own as well, and had them all in their house buried. Ooh. So yeah. And then also Kenesha Berry, who is an American mother. I think she killed her kids and put them in a waste bin, in a dumpster somewhere. Ugh. Anyway, so yeah, it's pretty grim stuff. Also, moon conjunct Ceres, though, is also going to bring out Ceres's shadow side, because there is one, and if it's going to be square Pluto, it's going to come out as well even more. Ceres mourned the abduction of her daughter Persephone, so there is some sorrow attached to this moon anyway, and it makes it extra sensitive to pain as well. So it could bring up themes at this time, could bring up absence of a mother through death, or also through her being focused on earning pentacles, and being obsessed by materialism too. There's also, though, a good side of this, because there's the priestess, herbalist side to Ceres. And if she's not a hardcore materialist, then she could place a lot of energies into healing the world as well. So there are good things about it as well. Now, interesting enough, in my research, I found that the moment that the Titanic struck the iceberg, the moon was actually square Pluto as well, very tightly. And, that's just so symbolic of moon Pluto generally. A great ship weighed down by her treasures, which is Ceres, but it's also Pluto as well, wealth, plunged deep into the underworld with the loss of so many lives as well. So, moon Pluto generally throws itself into the deep when it comes to emotions as well. And they experience relationships truly, madly and deeply, but also can easily freeze over in an instant if someone tries to dominate and manipulate or control them. So that could be a theme that happens in relationships at this time as well. So the fixed star is Kratz, which is found in Corvus the Crow. Now, the mythology of this constellation is very important. Basically, the sun god Apollo sent the raven with a cup, which is constellation Crater. They're all found together on the Hydra, the snake as well. So the whole story is all put together in the sky as well. So he went to fetch some water for his feast. The raven was sent by Apollo. And on his way, the raven was distracted by some fine figs on a tree and lost track of time, gorging upon them. Then he suddenly remembered his errand and picked up a passing snake. God knows why. I suppose it represents lying, because then he had to, come up with an excuse of why he had not filled the cup as asked, saying, I had a fight with a snake and here it is. Oh, been terrible. So it's lies, basically. And in another myth, the raven was given a task to keep a watchful eye over Apollo's pregnant lover Coronis. But then the raven had to report that back to Apollo the unwelcome news that she was having an affair with someone else. And then Apollo cursed the raven, and its colour changed from its former silver feathers to black. So there's also, the bearer of bad news. Nobody wants to be given bad news, so then you get punished for that as well. So that's another theme. So more on this constellation is that Corvus is like Mars and Saturn. It's said to give craftiness, greediness, ingenuity, patience, revengefulness, passion, selfishness, lying, aggressiveness, material instincts, and sometimes causes the native to become an agitator as well. And, I would add to this, they make great gossips, journalists, and paparazzi as well. Sometimes they do prey on the misfortune of others also. So not surprisingly, the tarot card associated with this decan is pretty grim. It's one that we really don't like to see when we do the tarot card. It's the Three of Swords. So it is one of the most upsetting cards in the deck. And, it has to fit somewhere. So, it's not surprising that it's here. It kind of goes with the crafty crow as well, I guess. And because there's heartbreak involved when Apollo discovered the truth of his beloved having an affair. And so, the karmic lesson with this card is sorrow, heartbreak, and love triangles. This decan's also ruled by Saturn, of course, so, it's a heavy karmic burden. So the lessons are here that any gold digging or gigolo behaviour that happens here will also come with a massive karmic debt, a massive price tag too. So it's your choice whether you turn away from these trinkets or not. So Teach Me Tarot says that release is the key with the Three of Swords. A great sorrow, usually rooted in the past, is often indicated. Painful memories can be heavily repressed. And it also highlights the need to let go of old pains and hurts, as they're bound to be affecting the present. So it is the past affecting the present. So it's a time to talk about them. You must open up and let it out before it poisons you from within. And that kind of goes with the Hydra snake as well. So it's a new moon. So this is a perfect time at this time of year as well, because we're coming up to the fall, autumn. We burn all the autumn leaves. It all goes on the bonfire. It all gets burnt away to prepare the soil for winter time, really. And so, yes, it's time to start afresh, burn all the old karma, throw all the old stuff onto the fire. And I mean, this new moon in particular is very much about moving on and throwing away the past, exorcising the past, really. So a good crystal, I thought, for the crystal healing part of this new moon is going to be black tourmaline for the crystal of the month, because it's really good for protection. It's been used since ancient times by shamans and healers for protection when they do their dirty work, really. And it's considered to be one of the most powerful protective stones. And it's one of the only stones that protects and heals on all levels. So that's physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual as well. So black tourmaline is a must-have for anyone working in the healing professions. So those working with the sick or mentally ill people will really benefit, because, these people do literally suck energy from you if you're not protected. Not their fault, but that's just the way it is. So yeah, I'm not going to do a rant this for this new moon, because what I think I'm going to do actually is, I'm aware the Kavanagh case is going on as we speak. So I actually want to do a dedicated, hopefully if I have time, do a dedicated post about it, because there's a lot in there. This whole thing about divide and conquer with men and women now, it's kind of the agitator of the full moon, really. Sorry, the new moon. It's the agitator of the crow. It's the paparazzi. It's the media spinning things again for their own political agenda on both sides. And I don't know enough about the case to really judge what's really going on here. So I think I want to do a special on this, and I want to kind of save my rants for separate mundane astrology. So we'll keep this short and snappy, and this is the new camera. I'm still getting used to it. Unfortunately, the autofocus isn't as good as I would have liked, so I don't know if it's kind of going in and out or not. But anyway, I hope the quality's okay. And yes, come to Darkstar Astrology for the monthly horoscopes, and also the Libra decans if you want them in full. If you're a Libra person, I've done all of them now. So yeah, have a brilliant new moon. This will last the whole of the month, and it's very appropriate for the autumn season of going down into the underworld and preparing for winter. All the best. Bye-bye.